Greetings, it's Iain from RTL here. Welcome to my response to our little final tag that we done. A lot of fun doing this one. We started planning this about 3 months ago, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of organising, but this actually came together back in the summer when Simon came up with it, and I thought about it, and I went, yes, we can do this. So I had a word with the gang on a Thursday after a live stream, and the rest is history. So thank you once again to Simon, Michael, Mike, Nick, and Richard, and the man that did all the behind the scenes work on the day of recording, Dave, for putting this up. He just sat there making sure it flew smoothly. So we had 20 questions, and I'm going to go through my responses now. I set the first one: show an album cover that's got an animal on it. Now, first time round, I showed Mike Oldfield, Hergus Ridge. This time, I'm going to show this album, which is Alpha from Asia. Came out in 1983, I believe. Painted by Roger Dean. And on the front there, we have got a falcon, eagle, whatever you want to call it, on the front. So that was for the first question. Second question came from Simon. Now, Simon said, show an album or single that you regret buying. And for me, it has to be this one. Abacab from Genesis, 1981. Not my favourite Genesis album by any means. I like the title track and I like Dodo and Lurker. But apart from that, I'm not very keen on the tracks. So that is my choice for question 2. Question 3. This came from Richard McCook, and it was to show an album of which part is studio and which part is live. So I went for 1975's ZZ Top album, Fandango. On here you got side 1, which was recorded in Houston, Texas, in front of I think 90,000 fans, and on the other side it's got studio tracks including Tush, Heard It on the X, and Blue Jean Blues. So that is an excellent album. Okay, my number 3 choice, sorry, was from Michael. And it was show a blind purchase of 2024 or show an unexpected musical discovery. Now, for me, it was a musical discovery because I didn't buy any blind purchases record-wise. But while I was going through Spotify looking for something else, I came across this. Now, this is a band called Sea Hags. It's a one-off album. Some of the production's done by Kurt Hammett from Metallica, and it's just a rock album. This was the only album they made, self-titled, and it came out in 1989. I did do a review of this. It is up in the catalogue. So that is my next one. Okay, question number 5. Now, this came from Mike, Vinyl Spiral, and he said, show a record off your favourite label. Now, one of my favourite record labels is the Vertigo. But it's got Status Quo on it, it's got Uriah Heep, Black Sabbath started off on Vertigo, and many other bands. But one other band, one of my favourite bands, is this band, Thin Lizzy, and this is 1976's Jailbreak. Excellent album. But I've already got the album out to show you, and it was that iconic blue greeny with the spaceship, and at the bottom there we have got the Vertigo Squirrel. Now, there's a few people out there that believe that Vertigo Squirrel is a separate label. It's all part of the big picture of Vertigo Records. I know some of the Black Sabbath albums have the big swirl, very hypnotic as well. So that is my choice for Mike's Thin Lizzy. Okay, number 6. Now, this is from Nick's Vinyl Buddy, my friend up in Corby, just up the road from me, and he said, show an album or single that has some connection trivia. Tell us about it. So I'm going to tell you about this song. Are You Ready? From AC/DC off their Razor's Edge album. And the reason I'm going to show you this is because I'm in the video. So I'll move on to the next slide and I'm going to make it big so you can see. So as you can see, there's a picture there with some arrows. Now the green arrow is pointing at me. Now the other arrow was for my mate Lee. So that's me and Lee in the side, and got another slide to prove it. We were there. There's me with Brian. So he is signing a cap, as you can see, and you can see now that I'm actually wearing that cap. This is what we was given, and if I take it off, you can see there are the signatures of Angus Malcolm, Chris Slade, Brian Johnson, and Chris Williams. So that was for that one. Okay, up next was another question for me, and I said, which concert, either on VHS, DVD, or even a YouTube concert, that you would like to have been made into a live album? So for me, it was this. Now, I actually saw Iron Maiden on this tour, the Somewhere in Time tour. Steve Harris and the band wanted to put out a live video album to it because it was a fantastic production. The set was from Blade Runner, but Ron Smaller said, no, we're not having that. We only had Power Slave, the Live After Death album, a couple of years ago. But fans done it, and it was put up by the Downfall Network, and they put together bits of clips. It's not bad, you know. It's a lot of it is personal, but it should have been a live album because it was a great gig. Okay, coming up next was some Simon, and he said, show your favorite greatest hits or compilation album. Now I've gone for a greatest hits album, and I've gone for this one. This is, of course, Wings' greatest from 1978. I had this originally, well, it was my stepdad's, which I kept pinching. Then I put it onto cassette. Then I brought it on CD. And when I was up in Leeds last time, we went into one of the shops, and there it was. I had to buy it. I couldn't leave the shop without it. Great greatest hits album. Got all the songs that you really like, and it's a nice little album to put on. Okay, our next question came from Richard McCook, who said, show a 7 or 12-inch single where the B-side is better than the A-side. For me, we went for this standout single from Mike Oldfield, Crimes of Passion. Now, Crimes of Passion is a pretty good song, although it sounds a bit like Moonlight Shadow, but on the B-side, you see, there is an instrumental called Jungle Gardenia, and I really love it. It's got some great guitar work from Mike on it, and I really enjoy that track. Okay, up next, another question from Michael in Japan, and it was, show a steal or bargain of 2024. For me, it was this beauty. I brought this up in Leeds. This is Welcome Back, My Friends, to the show that never ends. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, live album from 1974. The kind of cover's a little bit battered, but I picked this up in a bundle of 4 albums for the massive price of £10. This is a triple album, of course. It's an original. It sounds great. The records are in mint condition. So that is an absolute steal. If I ever find a better cover, I will. But at the moment, this is just a great steal. Okay, the next question came from Mike, and it was, a show a record cover that could be described as a work of art. Now, I went for this one. I just want the bit of paper because it's got the people that are in it. 1978, Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. The artwork on this, they did all the artwork for this album cover, this album, and that was Mike Trim, Jeff Taylor, and Peter Goodhue. Now, fabulous. I love the front cover. I love the Horse and Common painting. It's absolutely brilliant. But the whole album's pretty good. So here's the booklet you get with it. There's the front cover in all its glory. Thunderchild escaping. Some absolutely stunning pictures from this. The red weed one, that is absolutely gorgeous. Another of my favorite is Nathaniel the Priest. So it's absolutely killer, and that is why I chose that. Okay, our next one comes from Nick's Vinyl Butty, and he said, name a popular artist band that you dislike. Now, you all know my dislikes. It's either going to be Coldplay, but in the end, it went down to this one. Yes, Adele. Not a big fan of Adele. She writes the most miserable songs. She's never, ever wrote a happy song. I mean, she's made a lot of money out of it, but I just find her so depressing. Not for me, I'm afraid. So that is why we don't have that one in my collection. Okay. My next question actually was for me, and it was, show an album or a song that reminds you of your first love. Now, I did show Sky 2 last time round, and that was for my first girlfriend. But this time I'm going for this album, Europe, Out of This World, which came out, I think, in 1988. Now, the story behind this one, this was brought for me by a girl. Now, it goes into the girl that got away. We was very, very close, and she brought me this for my birthday in 1988. So it's an all right album. It's a very, I keep it because it's, you know, it's got sentimental value. And the other thing about this one is, I think I've showed this before, it's on red vinyl. Now, for 1988, to get something on red vinyl was something special. So that's why I've shown it this time. Okay, where are we on the list? Okay, up next was Simon, and he said, show me your best played album of 2024. The one you've played the most. Mine's not an album from 2024, it's from 1977, and it is Live, Status Quo Live. I had this on cassette when I first had it, wore it out, had it on DVD, CD, got rid of that. Brought a new record deck last year, as you know. This is one of the first purchases I got, and I play it to death. And the good news is there is a box set coming out of all 3 shows that they did at Glasgow Apollo. I just love this. There's just so many other pictures inside of the band. Absolutely brilliant live album. And I do play this to death. It is a fabulous album. Okay, up next was a question from Richard McCook again. And it was, show an album that you only like one song on. It means this one. It's a very rare album. It's Freddie Mercury's Mr. Bad Guy from 1985. I'll check my list. I think it's 85. Yes, 85. And the only track I really, really like on here is the title track. The rest are just poppy dancey. He did re-record some of them, and Queen re-record some, but as far as this album goes, I haven't played this for a long time. I haven't even played it since I got my new deck. So there we go. Okay, coming up next, this was from Michael. And it says, shout out an international vinyl community channel that you discovered in 2024. And for me, was this one, and it's Roberts on My Turntable. I really like this channel. He does a mixture. He shows a lot of prog and rock, and he does shorts. It's a real mixed bag. So I've really enjoyed it. So that's a big shout out to Robert is on My Turntable. Okay, our next question is another for Mike. Show an artist that you discovered while watching another vinyl community channel. And I thought about it, and in the end, it was from Mike himself. There we go. His new header that I did for him, a bit of a VLCT, whatever you want to call it. And he discovered the band that I discovered through Mike are the Lovely Eggs. Now I did write down who it is. I know it's the married couple, and it's Holly Ross and David Blackwell. They're just a great sort of garage punk band and write about everyday life. Really simple compositions, but fun tracks as well. And I really have enjoyed listening to them. And I will be doing an album ranking of them this year. So thank you very much, Mike, for introducing me to the Lovely Eggs. Okay, what's next on the list? This was from Nick's Vinyl Buddy, and it says, show a record that has been written on or trashed or signed by the artist. So I've got actually got one of each. First one I'm going to show you is a signed album. The DTs, who are they say? Well, these are a blues band that were around in the late 80s, early 90s. They're from Leicester and Market Harbour. They were a great blues band, and they brought out this album, and I brought it at a gig, and they signed it for me. So the people that sign it, we've got Simon Hicklin, Steve Wallen, Craig Rind, and Chas Chaplin. Great blues band. Two in the front, you've got the one with the Simon Hicklin's the one with the moustache and sideburns. That's Simon next to him. Then the bearded guy next to it is the drummer Chas, and the other guy is the bass player Craig. Nice blokes, really always spoke to them and really had a good time with them. My second one is someone that scribbled on it. Now, the album I've gone for is the Barclay James Harvest album, which I never get the title right. Everyone is Everyone Else. This came out in 1974. As you can see, there's no deface on that cover. You turn it over, no deface on that. But when you take it out the sleeve, there's a doodle. I don't know if you can see that. Someone's doodled a picture. That is pretty cool. So whoever that is, thank you very much. I do like looking at that. So there we go. Okay, question 19 was another of mine. And I said, give a shout out to your favorite non-vinyl community channel. And for me, I like history. And like the last time I showed the war one, which is excellent. My other love is railways and railway history. And this is what this one's all about. It's called Rediscovering Lost Railways. Now, this is a channel where they go around old track beds, all them lines that are forgotten. It's an excellent track thing. It really fits in with my sort of thing. I do like railway history and looking at old clips that people have taken. So that was for that one. And then we come to the last question, which was rudely interrupted by Helmet. Now, I'm sure everybody knows who Helmet is. He is someone that does appear on the live stream, and he is one of the people that actually do questions. I'm sure you know it all who it is. But the question that was asked by him was, so an album or single that you borrowed and never gave back. Now, mine is from 1981, and it's Ultravox's Rage of Eden. Well, I did not purposely give it back. This actually belonged to my ex-wife. And when we split up, you take your thing, and this accidentally got left in my collection. And she never asked for it back, and I never said I'd got it. So yeah, I've still, if you're watching this, Kira, or see this, Kira, I've still got it. and it's looked after. I really like this album, so it's still in my possession. So there we go. There were the 20 questions. There were my responses. I had as much fun putting these together as I did actually doing it. I mean, because when I was putting it together, and you know the questions were coming in, and I was actually thinking, oh god, I know what I'd show for that. So in the end, I had to do it. I mean, because all the other guys have been doing it. So thank you very much for watching. And if you want to have a go, the questions are in the link below. So you would have a go, and then let me know when you've done it. So have fun and bye for now.